Hi everybody. Well, get a load of this one. This is another solver demonstration. This happens to be a situation where we have a store, and we kept this at a minimum, right? But it could be a heck of a lot more information in here. But we have a store that's going to be opening, and they need to fill their shelves with, let's say, 10 different products. Now, in reality, that might be 1,000, okay? But we're keeping it small here just so we can keep our arms around it. But the idea is that we want to bring in 10 different products, and we have a budget of $95,000. Now, what this really means is that we have a budget of $95,000. That means we're buying all these different products. This is the cost of the product to us, right? So it'd be whatever number we bought of it times 200 times 400 times 300, whatever it happens to be, and that gives us the cost total. So we're going to want to make sure that we end up with spending total no more than $95,000. We want to purchase a minimum quantity, at least, let's say the minimum might be 10, all right? But at the same time, we're also looking to maximize our profit, all right, if all were sold, all right? And that's where this number comes in over here, all right? So there is our retail price, basically what we're selling it at, and there's our cost, all right? So we're making $50 on that one, we're making, $75 on this one. So we're taking into account when the program figures out the quantity that we want at least 10, purchased and brought in, and we want to make sure that that doesn't run us any more than $95,000, and at the same time, we want to maximize the profit. All right. Now, you think about it, that's pretty major, and if you had to come up with this on your own, that would be an awful lot of what-if analysis. But because we have the solver tool, this will happen in a very short period of time. So, first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to go back into data here. We're going to go over to the solver, and this little window pops up here. Through the magic of video, you just saw that information disappear. All right. Anyway, so what is our main objective here? Well, the main objective is to maximize our profit. All right. So in the objective area here, we'll click up there. We'll click onto this number here, and we want that maximum. And it's going to figure all this out by plugging in like millions of times different numbers that are going to be in this range right here. Okay. Now, if you've been watching the other videos on this, you know that if we just left it like that, it would have no control over wanting to purchase billions and trillions of items here, because you haven't told it that it has a budget, and you haven't told it that you're trying to you told it you want to maximize the profit, but it's going to do that by just, saying buy 1 trillion of this, buy 2 trillion of those, right? So we have to set some constraints here. So one set of constraints is going to be that we want it to have a minimum of at least 10, okay, purchased, right? So we're going to hit add here. We're going to say this number here, okay, whatever it puts in each of these cells, has to be greater than or equal to at least 10, right? Hit OK on that. At the same time, I don't want more than about maybe 50 of any given item, right? So we'll hit add again in that same range, okay? We're going to tell it has to be less than or equal to 50, all right? So between 10 and 50 is what we want the mix to be, all right? And then hit OK on that. And those are our first two constraints. Now that would work out pretty well right there. Okay, that would limit it, but we still need to do a few more here. we want to make sure that the number that it puts in here is an integer, right? So we're going to hit add again, all right? And we're going to say in this range, every one of those numbers has to be an integer, meaning no decimal places, right? Just 15 or 10 or 12 or whatever, right? Hit OK on that. And then last but not least, we want to make sure that it purchases no more than 95,000. So we have a calculation here for the cost to us. In other words, if we took the quantity times the cost, and we have these numbers here, the total of that is in here, okay? So our next and final constraint will be that we want, let's say, this number to be less than or equal to this number, right? So C3 needs to be less than or equal to C2, right? That will really usher it in there. Now we'll go ahead and hit OK on that. There we go. And then once we've done that, we're ready to solve it. So we'll hit solve. And there we go. So you end up getting this. We'll hit OK. And there we go. And as you can see here, we spent everything up to about $75 we had left over. And there's really nothing in here that has a cost of $75 or less, so we can't add anything. And if you try to sit there and say, well, maybe I'll take 2 away from here and add 1 to that, you could, but the mix that you have right now is, I think, the only combination that you have that will get you the maximum profit while keeping your purchase under budget. So what a real powerful little tool we have here. I mean, this is great for retailer or anybody like that that's looking to set up shop, and they've got, 5,000 items. They list them all in here and set something up like this up. So very, very cool. Well, I appreciate you watching the video. Hope you can use it. Take care.